The Artemis II Orion space capsule successfully splash landed in the ocean near San Diego on Friday. And as you know, the heat shield took a lot of abuse, so let's have a look at some of the pictures.
And we have confirmation of crew module, service module separation, and a great view, albeit momentarily.
Houston, good step on board.
Houston copies and concurs.
The European service module now separated from integrity, a job well done.
So as you can see right here, guys, this is obviously the splashdown through to when the astronauts are getting out. And you can see just how singed this space capsule has become from the re-entry. Obviously, it was re-entering the atmosphere at 25,000 miles per hour, which is a lot faster than a lot of the other entries where they're normally entering through lower Earth orbit. So obviously, when you're coming from the moon, you're going a lot faster. And these are just a couple of the snaps I wanted to show you guys. I mean, it's just, these were found from like NASA website, got them from Facebook and various different places like that. And it just shows you how tough this thing really is. And there's one image that someone shared on Twitter I'll come to in a second. It literally, someone was saying that there's possibly a weakness in the heat shield. But the good thing about the latest administration, they're not really hiding anything from anyone. And Jared come back with a great response, so I'll show you now. So I come across this picture by a guy called Berger, and he basically says, not an expert, so can't really comment on this, but hopefully NASA will soon. And he's obviously pointing to this point here, so you should see around the cursor there. Looks like there's some white coloration to the heat shield. And let's go down and we'll see what Jared Isaacman's response was. And he's obviously the administrator for NASA, so it's pretty cool that he actually responds to people when they've got concerns. So yeah, he says, okay, so his response is, I am hesitant to get ahead of a proper data review, but I understand the space community's curiosity, especially when imagery can give the impression of a problem. As you would expect, engineers were eager to inspect the heat shield, starting with a diver imagery shortly after splashdown and continuing with the review aboard the ship. No unexpected conditions were observed. I suspect when the images are released, it will be pretty obvious the stark difference between Artemis I and Artemis II heat shield performances. As to the question specifically, the discoloration was not liberated material. The white color observed corresponds to the compression pad area and is consistent with the local geometry. Avcoat byproducts and transitional heat environments. We have actually observed this behavior in ArcJet testing and expected it in this compression pad area. We will complete a full data review across all systems, including the thermal protection system, and make the results publicly available. So it doesn't seem too bad. It just looks like they were kind of expecting that. So there's no real sort of problem there. So obviously the material, they tested it and they've actually seen this coloration here before. So it's all looking good. But I think it's brilliant that the NASA administrator is actually answering questions on Twitter before he's got the full sort of scientific facts back. Because this is everything that he's tested before. Like he said, they've tested it on jets before, and it's quite normal. So that's a good one from NASA. And I think the administration, they just want to go full steam ahead, but they don't want to give anyone sort of reason for any concerns who are in the general public. So it's great that they kind of sort of squash any rumors before they begin. I come across this cool image by a guy called Tom Williams, and he's basically managed to get a view of the Orion spacecraft. And he captured it a few hours after the lunar flyby, and he got it from his home in southwest of the UK. At the time, integrity was within the lunar sphere of influence, and he got it, so it was basically 250,000 miles away from Earth. So nice one, Tom. So as you can see there, that little speck there was the Orion spacecraft. It's amazing that he managed to get that from his home telescope rig. So obviously these are just a few of the images that have come back from this amazing mission. And as always, I'll keep giving you guys new updates as and when they unfold. But I think it's pretty cool what's happening with NASA. And obviously Jared Isaacman, the administrator for NASA, he's answering questions directly to people on Twitter. And a lot of times these massive organizations, they keep everything very hush hush. They don't want to sort of let you know what's going on. But he's like, no, we need to let people know. And I think it's very good, the transparency that his approach is coming across. And, you know, they want to get Artemis 3 up and running as soon as possible. But obviously at the moment, they're going to check all the data that's come back from this mission. So yeah, just watch this space. I will continue to update you guys. And obviously, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you click the subscribe button and the like button. It definitely helps me. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Cheers.